Hello, welcome to the Lessons from Iowa website. I'm Bob Schulte, Principal of Schulte Associates LLC and Project Manager for the Due Diligence Assessment of the Iowa Stored Energy Park, or ISEP, project. Lessons from Iowa represents the cumulative lessons learned, or thought capital, if you will, of 8 years of development of ISEP. With the support of the U.S. Department of Energy's Storage Systems Program, a major funder of ISEP, and Sandia National Laboratories, the purpose of Lessons is to help other storage projects move forward based on Iowa experience. Using Lessons, other storage projects can start where ISEP left off, enabling them to avoid reinventing the wheel in the issues ISEP has already addressed. Although the Iowa project was terminated in 2011 due to site-specific geology limitations, most of the lessons from Iowa are independent of geology or even of the storage technology being used. So, whether you are contemplating a compressed air energy storage project like ISEP, or pumped hydro storage, or other technologies, chances are there are lessons from Iowa that will help you, and they are right here on the LFI website. More about lessons in a moment, but first, some background on the ISEP project. Compressed air energy storage, or CASE projects like ISEP, work like this. Energy available on the regional electric transmission grid during low customer load and low price periods on nights and weekends is used to drive compressors. These machines compress air, which is then directed to a special underground reservoir for storage. In Iowa, this reservoir was 3,000 feet below ground. Then, during higher electric load and price periods on weekdays, the air is brought back up from underground and run through turbines that turn electric generators. This electricity is then placed back on the regional transmission system for sale to customers. The difference in electric prices on the grid between the off-peak periods when the air is stored and the on-peak periods when the storage energy is released back to the grid is a large portion of the benefits that are used to pay for the storage facility. There are other important attributes of storage that provide financial benefits too, as described in Lessons. The Iowa Stored Energy Park was a proposed CASE facility. It would generate 270 megawatts during on-peak load periods. It had an estimated capital cost of about $400 million for in-service in 2015. That's about $1,500 per kilowatt. Its site was near Dallas Center, Iowa, near the northwest corner of the Des Moines metro area. In daily operation, the regional grid would see ISEP as an intermediate generating unit, that is, between a baseload unit that operates all the time and a peaking unit that operates only on peak load days, operating during daytime hours on weekdays. This is not a flywheel or a battery storage option. It was intended as an energy as well as a capacity machine by the owners. Uniquely, it would offer a fully dispatchable electric load during off-peak low load hours. It would run continuously for 12 to 16 hours or more in either storage or the generation mode, and it would ramp quickly up and down so it could be used to offset and address the intermittency of renewable energy resources. The ISEP site, shown here as a star on a wind speed map of Iowa, was near wind energy resources. Iowa is a leading state in renewable wind energy development. It already has more than 3,800 megawatts of installed wind capacity, with more on the way. This renewable resource is intermittent with the wind, so storage would be useful in smoothing that out and making it more reliable and ready for use when electricity consumers need it. Combining wind energy and storage was a key motivation for the ISEP project. ISEP was unlike the two operating CASE facilities in the world, one in the United States and Alabama and the other in Germany. Both use underground caverns for their air storage reservoirs. Instead, ISEP planned to use a porous underground sandstone aquifer with a solid and continuous cap rock in the form of an upside-down teacup as its storage medium. This chart shows the various underground levels in the site storage structure based on seismic studies. The structure is bulging up at us here, and we don't need 3D glasses to see it. The idea was to use compressed air to create an air bubble in the water in the aquifer 3,000 feet underground, that was 1.5 miles in diameter and 60 to 80 feet thick. The red areas here is about 1.5 miles across. That sounds fantastic, doesn't it? But really it isn't. In fact, Northern Natural Gas Company does that to store natural gas in a storage facility just a few miles to the west of the ICEP site in the same sandstone material. And they have been successfully doing that for decades. So we knew that it could be done if the geology was sound. Here is a conceptual cutaway diagram of the ICEP project. During the 8 years of ICEP development, about $8.6 million was invested in the project by DOE, the state of Iowa, and the ICEP owners, a group of 57 municipal utilities located in 4 states, Iowa, Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. During that time, the project accomplished the following actions. The site was selected. Geophysical surveying was done. We drilled and cored 3 test wells. We did economic analysis in 2 phases, a laboratory core analysis, a case reservoir simulation analysis, and a geology peer review. In July of 2011, the project was terminated because the storage reservoir was determined to be inadequate. The short story is, there was enough sandstone. The cap rock above the sandstone was sound. The sandstone had enough pores in it, but the connectivity between the pores in the sandstone, or permeability, was insufficient, so the project could not go forward. But we learned about a great deal about what it takes to do a bulk energy storage project in Midwest Independent System Operator, or MISO market, along the way. These lessons are useful to other storage projects in MISO and elsewhere. We have documented what we learned, and this chart provides a list of the chapter headings in our lessons report that is available for download on the website. This includes topics like the estimated costs of case facilities and their alternatives, including conventional natural gas-fired combined cycle and simple cycle power plants, the lifetime economics of the alternatives under various scenarios of the future, evaluations of markets and tariffs, policies, and legislation that would be necessary to enable storage, project management considerations, and of course, geology. Although the specifics of ICEP site characteristics and limitations may not be very applicable to other sites, the storage used and process used in evaluating our site should be useful to other case developments. Finally, we have some recommendations for further work in extending the storage effort nationwide. For more detailed information on these topics, go to the Download the Lessons from Iowa tab on the website. There, you can download the Lessons from Iowa Summary Report. In addition to the summary text, it includes more than 150 footnotes to the underlying references developed during the project. And you can download any or all of the reference documents. They are ordered by footnote number, so they are easy to find. No knowledge of the library's Dewey Decimal System is required here. Among other things, this includes a Resource Planner's Toolkit that includes assumptions and data for utility planners to use to perform their own storage studies. For an overview of specific lessons from Iowa, view the lessons video on the website video page. On behalf of the Iowa Storage Energy Plant Agency, the owners of ICEP, and the project team, including Nick Critelli, Kent Holst, and myself, we hope you find lessons to be useful. With lessons, you really now have a choice. You can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, like ICEP did, to pioneer and learn the same lessons from scratch, or, thanks to DOE's Storage Systems Program, you can download lessons for free and start where ICEP left off. We know you will make the right choice here. Finally, if you have questions about lessons or need help in designing or doing due diligence of your own storage project, contact us using the Lessons page. We look forward to hearing from you. Welcome to Lessons.